Aw, how cute! A real-life pufferfish. Look how she puffs out her body to scare away predators. But watch out! There's far more to her than being an underwater balloon. Her poison is quite deadly. So potent, in fact, that people have been known to go belly up after 20 minutes of being exposed. So, why is it that people risk it all to eat this fish as dinner? Yeah, people will absolutely chomp down on a pufferfish just like the one you see here. So now I bet you're wondering, is this okay to do? And let's take it a step further. Is it possible to eat poisonous creatures at all? And if so, what animals can you put on the menu? Well, Brainiacs, let's get cooking and delve into the whys and hows of wolfing down a vast array of poisonous critters and surviving. To start off on our journey into foods that double as a thrill-seeker's dream, let's head over to Japan, where the aforementioned rare and delicious delicacy, fugu, or cooked pufferfish, is found. Maybe you've heard of this dish before. In a famous Simpsons episode, Homer ate fugu, only to find out it was poisonous after the fact. Don't worry, he survived. As do most who partake in eating this dish. See, fugu is prepared in a very special and specific way, as to make sure it is not poisonous. In fact, the preparation is so specific that chefs must train for 2 years before they are allowed to cook and serve fugu. If you think this sounds a bit extreme, well, think again. Being poisoned by a pufferfish is a terrible way to go. First, you would experience tingling in the lips and tongue. Then, as the poison traveled to your respiratory muscles, it would get hard to breathe. And then after that, you would only have 24 hours to live. In some cases, death has come as quick as 20 minutes after eating. So yes, chefs should train. And don't you worry, they do. But get this, 5 people still reportedly die each year from fugu meals, even after this training. So what is the draw for risking it all for some spiky poisoned fish? Consumers report that the toxins actually create a sense of euphoria in the body after consumption. So not only does it taste great, but those euphoric tingles will literally make you feel fantastic too. But is it worth the risk? We'll leave that one up to you. But what if you're not into fish? Well, don't you worry, there are other strange and exotic dishes that fit the bill of better watch out if you eat this the wrong way. For instance, if you're into expanding your mind, we have just the potentially dangerous creature for you. Buffo alvarius, commonly known as the Colorado river toad, is a cute little amphibious creature that produces a completely toxic venom called bufontanine, which is why many thrill seekers have been known to lick these toads. You heard that right, lick the toads. Why? Well, once poisoned, you would actually start to hallucinate. Bufontanine is in the dimethylethanamine family, which means there are many similarities to the psychedelic DMT, a substance that produces very vivid hallucinations for a very short amount of time. The venom is released when you apply pressure to the toad's parotid glands behind the eardrums. This causes the toad to ooze a milky substance. Then, you just lick the toad. After you do, lights would begin to vibrate, and you would start to see fast-moving images. Now, before you write this one off as an urban legend because you think it's too crazy to be real, you should know that this toad-licking stuff is taken quite seriously, especially by governments. Australians were known to lick toads for quite some time. So often, in fact, that in the 1980s the government banned the practice. And here in the US, bufontanine is illegal. But owning the toads that produce it isn't. So what's the downside to all this? Well, you could absolutely have a bad reaction to the poison and go into cardiac arrest. So basically, when it comes to toad licking, it's nirvana or the exact opposite. But fish and toads aren't your only option for eating poisonous critters. Jellyfish can also be prepared as a meal. And again, as long as done properly, they can be incredibly tasty. Just make sure that all the venom is removed before you chow down on them. After all, jellyfish can be quite poisonous, even deadly. Case in point, the Irukandji jellyfish is a type of jellyfish that is fatal if swallowed. It's a slow burn too. It can take 2 weeks for the venom to do its thing, and then you're a goner. But fear not. As long as the venomous areas of the jellyfish are removed, you should be fine. Just don't expect it to taste like jelly. Or fish, for that matter. But what if you're not in a restaurant? Let's say you're out in the wild with nothing to eat anywhere except for some rather well-known and deadly poisonous snakes. Could you eat them? Get ready for this one. The answer is yes. Poisonous snakes are one of those unique cases of venomous creatures that you can eat, and not worry about being poisoned at all. The most dangerous part about eating these reptiles is actually catching them. Just keep in mind that when you prepare them, make sure you remove the head, which contains the venom, then gut it as you would a fish and cook the meat inside to your heart's desire. You will be completely fine, and apparently, it tastes like chicken. Similarly, scorpions can also be eaten, just like poisonous snakes, as long as the venomous parts are removed. So the stinger and the venomous glands, you can chomp down on them without a worry. And the plus of choosing scorpions as your late night delicacy? They don't even need to be cooked. Talk about a crunchy snack on the go, and hey, they're high in protein too. Now you know some poisonous creatures that if you ingested them, you would actually be okay, as long as they were prepared properly. Some are quite the delicacy, and some cater to that inner thrill seeker in all of us. Where do we stand on trying these dangerous dinners? We say go for it. Try something new. But when it comes to the toad licking, maybe just stick to kissing frogs. Stay hungry for knowledge, Brainiacs!